In this video, we're going to be reviewing the Aniioki AQ177 Pro Max. This could be the bike that you have been waiting for if you get any type of range anxiety. It's not only fast, but it also has this huge monster battery that can go up to 100 miles on throttle only. So check this out, because this is a bike now, right now they are having a Black Friday deal that is kind of running till all the way till December 1st. This video has been 2 weeks in the making, and when I started it, it has actually priced at $19.99 and has dropped down. Gotta check it out. I'll see you in the video. Unboxing and assembling the Aniioki bike was a little harder than a lot of my other bikes, and the main reason of that is because of the weight of it. So I had to cut the front of the box open and slide the bike out. At this point, I decided to put flat out tire sealant in the front and rear tires of this bike just to make sure that I don't get any flats, because it would be really heavy to push this bike home if I ever got one. I also took the battery out and made sure that I got this all charged up and ready to go for the next day. And in the meantime, I then put on the handlebars and put the front rim onto the fork, got everything all tightened up, adjusted the handlebars to the right length of where I wanted it to be, put on the pedals, also then moved on to the front of the bike to put the fender on and the front headlight. After those were put on, I moved on to the back of the bike to put the seat pad that goes onto the rack on the back. Although it's not made really to go ahead and ride on the back there, it really made it look a lot nicer. Then I was ready to ride. So we are stepping up and sneaking up on the Aniioki AQ177 Pro Max, because I just think they should have just called this the Aniioki Max, because it is one maximum kind of a bike, maximum power that we've ever felt on a 750 motor, and it has biggest battery we've come across so far on any bikes that we've ever tested at 60 amp hours. I have a picture of it that shows how monstrous this battery is, and that whole thing goes into the frame here. It is 60 amp hours, and the reason why I'm starting talking about that is because that's one of the few things that makes this bike pretty amazing. It actually has a range of 100+ miles on a single charge because of this monster battery. That's with throttle only. That's what they claim. Now, it also claims that it can go up to 200 miles if you assist it. That I don't know if is all too true, but the 100-mile claim that they've done, I've actually seen other reviewers ride for 5 hours talking about how they really do think it can do the 100 miles because they've already gone like 80 and there's still battery life on it, and done some testing. And these are other reviews that I truly trust on that too. I don't have the 5 hours of patience to go ahead and just continuously ride this thing, but I will be attempting to ride it without charging it for a few days at a time to see if I can actually get an estimated range. And I'll get another footage or another video put up when I'm done with that. But for the most part, I just want to go ahead and talk about all the cool specs that we have here. First and foremost, there's so many cool features about this bike. I want to first start off with some of the security that they have on it. One, like your typical bikes, they actually have this keyhole that will actually be able to allow you to unlatch the battery and pull it out there. And in theory, you won't be able to really take out the battery unless somebody breaks the lock. But for the most part, you can also lock the battery securely using your cable lock if you're going to do it at the same time if you ever wanted to. But keep in mind, this battery weighs about 33 pounds is what they're weighing it at. So at 33 pounds, somebody running down the street with that thing, you'd probably be able to catch them if they see you running, if you see them running away with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the security that we have on this bike here. And as I step up to it, I'm going to hit the power button. And what you'll see here is there is an indicator for something to be tapped there. And what I do is take this, it's kind of like a fob, a key fob, touch it there, and then now you see that the bike turns on. So that is actually a secondary, I guess, security level, because it doesn't have a key to actually leave the bike turned on and off. This is pretty much your key, so you don't want to lose this for sure. And I'm going to stick this in my pocket. Once the bike is on, it'll pretty much stay on until I'm ready to turn it off. You have your basic 5 levels of pedal assist like most bikes have out there. If you see this right in the middle, I'm switching it up slowly. We go down to 5 as well, to 0. With 0, you actually get no power. Your throttle is actually dead at the same time. Let's start with the back of the bike, because I want to go over all the specs that we have here. And the reason why I wanted to turn on the bike is because you have your light switch here just by touching it once, and your headlight goes on. But since we're starting with the back, what I wanted to show you is that the tail light on there, you also have a brake light. I'm pressing the brake a few times and you see you have a brake light even at night. And it is right at midday in sunny California, so you're not going to really see the brake light shining super bright. Maybe I'll just throw a shot of it when it's in the garage. As far as the brake light goes, even during the midday, you do see the light go on pretty well. As we move a little closer, you have your back fender. You also get this pad that I added on that was included in the box itself here. This can hold up to 25 kilograms, which is a little over 50 pounds, if my understanding is correct. So it is not a super heavy duty rack where you're gonna put somebody on it. I wouldn't put a kid on it. There's no extra suspension. It's just kind of like hanging all the way out here. So just keep that in mind, but it does allow you to buy a carrier type thing that's on it. Now they do have package deals. So if you're deciding on getting one of these bikes, which I think this is going to be a really hot seller, but you can get one of these carrier things. You can put like a bag in it and then bungee cord it into it. But it can hold up to 50 pounds or so. So that's actually strong enough for that. The other thing is that it also has dual suspension, front and back. So looking at this back suspension, this works exceptionally well. To be honest, you can hardly feel all of the small bumps. I actually have back issues, and a lot of times riding for a long time, the constant hitting of the seat going up, into my spine on my back. That's why I use suspension seat posts when I can. It actually does hurt. This one here, I don't need to have it. It actually is a very, very soft cloud-like ride is what I like to say. Plus you add on that we have 20 by 4 inch fat tire bike tires that are on here that are really soft as well. I have these brought down to about 25 PSI, which you can go up to 30 if you want it really solid. And that actually does help as well to keep the whole ride smooth. Plus the weight of the bike being at about 115 pounds or so does also help to, get a lot of the extra weight absorbing through the bike itself here. We also have Shimano 7 speeds back here on the gearing, plus a tourney shifter. They work with a lot of different bikes that are out on there. You're probably not going to be pedaling this bike a lot. It's almost what I would call like a mo-bike. It's like a moped bike mix. And I really feel as though this gets closer to the moped style of a ride than I've ever had. As a teenager, an older teenager, I used to ride mopeds all the time, and this is one bike that actually feels like it. And one of the reasons is mopeds have really soft suspension. It is also really fast. At 28 miles an hour is what it says. It's a class 3 bike. We're getting definitely faster than 28. In fact, you'll see some of the speeds that we have based on the overlay. So I want to show you that we do have our GPS reader here, and that is what's feeding the speed of this bike to the camera and all the ride footage that you're seeing. So that is the actual ride footage of this bike speed. The other thing we have here is a front double guarded chain ring, just in case, it's really great for extra added protection. Now it is only plastic. It doesn't need to be anything better than that. Now you can pedal this bike. Oddly, it's comfortable enough. Not like the Scrambler style where the tank comes all the way out or they have these really wide seats. This bike actually feels okay to pedal. The only thing is that it is so heavy, you're not going to want to be pedaling it a lot, really. This is my personal feeling on that. The other thing about the style of this bike, the design, it is really solid, being so thick in the midsection here. The weight being such heavy battery in the middle also gives very good weight distribution, being in the middle sort of center of the bike here. It's also a very low profile bike as a step through. So as you can see, this step through is very easy to get in and out of the bike. I'd like to take note, this is something I thought just was really nice. Well, normally I don't really care much about stickers or branding that's on there, but they did a really nice job making this look really cool and stylish. Just a little side note for me, that's what I just thought it was really nice to have. Now I do have flat out tire seat, and you do see me put that in the original assembly of the bike, and that is really important. I would say if you are going to get a bike like this, because of its weight more than anything else and its fat tires, you definitely want to put tire sealant in the front and the back before you start riding it, because if you get a flat tire at one of these things at the weight of this bike, you're going to be really tired trying to walk it home, if it's even possible once the back tire gets flat, if you don't have something to strap the tire to the rim. Now the other thing here is it does come with this wide saddle seat. It's not the softest seat, but it is soft enough to ride for a very long period of time. I would put a Cloud9 type seat, like a really cushiony, more expensive seat on it. But for a stock seat that comes with it, I'm going to say this is one of the better stock seats that I've had on many of the bikes that we've ever tested on this channel. We got to talk about the motor here. Now, according to the website, they have a 25 amp controller. The battery that I have in here is the max top highest performing battery that they have. It is the 52 size power battery with 60 amp hours in it. So this is the top of the line. At the time of this recording, this bike is selling for an amazing only $19.99. And I say that only $19.99 because this has got to be one of the best performing bikes at that price range that I've come across. And one of the reasons I'm saying that's one of the best is because it comes with a 750 watt motor with a 25 amp controller and a 52 volt battery. We're looking at about 1300 watts, but I swear it feels more like 1500. I don't know if they've done something. I mean, technology does get better all the time, but this bike does not feel like your typical 52 volt, 750 watt bike performance, because we've had those others, and we do, in fact, our camera bike is at that also 52 volts, and this bike can actually pull away from it. So I don't know what's making the difference, except other than the newer bikes are just getting better and better at higher performance for what you pay. So this is a really amazing, especially because the battery's that big. I just got to keep coming back to that. It's 60 amp hours. Now keep in mind, that also means that it does come with a lot larger charger. So you will be charging it. The charger, it does make a lot of noise. I'm going to say, like, I had it in the living room and you could hear the charger fan keeping it cool because it runs at 8 amps to keep this thing charged. It still takes 7 to 8 hours to charge this from a complete dead state. So I'd probably say that you probably want to charge it up at least halfway, otherwise you're going to be waiting a full night cycle, which is fine if that's what, okay with you. When I take this bike to work, it's 14 miles one way. I'll probably bring the charger just to tap it off at work and use the office electricity before coming home, and just because I can. And then I don't have to charge it at home once I get home, because I'll be able to make my round trip for the next day. And that's I have an 8-hour day at work, so I know I'll be able to fully charge it at that time. I want to point out that we do have 180 millimeter rotors. And I'm glad that they did that. Sometimes with a 20-inch tire rim size bikes, they only put in 160 millimeter rotors. But with the speed of this bike, I'm glad they did 180, because these brakes work fantastic. And I think one of the reasons why there's a lot of confidence in riding with these brakes, not having to worry about it, is because of the size of the rotors, being able to give you a lot of stopping power very quickly. The pedals here are just basic standard pedals. They're like nylon plastic, or they're not metal. They don't need to be. Like I said, you're not really going to be pedaling this bike a lot. It's not really made to, I think, really pedal, although you can. I don't think that's what it's for. Here's another interesting thing about this bike here is we have this huge port here. That is definitely one of the biggest ports I've seen to go ahead and charge. And the way that it's shaped here, this is actually right on the battery. So when you pull out the battery, this actually goes with it. So you can take the battery out and charge it in the house if you want to. This 30-pound battery is really heavy to carry into the house, but I don't like to leave my batteries in the garage and charging there, so I do bring it in. We also have another 180 millimeter rotor with our hydraulic brakes here. I've never heard of this brand of brakes, but they work great. I don't have any problems with them. This is the same branded handle grips that come with it. I did add on this mirror here. When I did my first test ride after putting the bike together, I realized at the speeds that we're going to be recording this at, I really want to make sure I have a rear view. So this is a half knee mirror, bar end. I had to cut a hole in the grip here, very easy to do. Stick it in there and put it in. Thank you very much for Hafni for sending mirrors. I really appreciate, and I think that these are some of the best mirrors that you can put if you ever need a bar end mirror for your bike. The thing about electric bikes, a lot of times you will not be able to put on a standard mirror because of all the control stuff here, which brings the mirror so far in that you can't see past your body. So rear view mirrors like this that go on the bar end are perfect for bikes like this. I do have a link for that in the description below if you're looking for bar end mirrors. Like I said, they're really easy to install. It's a great safety feature to have along with your bike. The other accessory I added on here is my water bottle bag. This does not have any bottle cage bosses to hold a water bottle. So I highly recommend getting something like this if you're going to do it, because it's still, regardless if you're not pedaling very much, you're going to get hot. And you can have a bag here. You can also use it to carry keys or a wallet instead of water if you don't want to. And we do sell this on the ebikeproducts.com website. Again, there's going to be a link below here. This is one of our most popular accessories because it fits on almost any e-bike. And this is just a great example of how it works. Also has a pocket in the front here that can hold a cell phone. We do also sell the cell phone holders on here, but for this, I want to keep the bike looking clean to do this review, so I did not put a cell phone holder on there. I want to talk about the front shocks here. If you look at how this design is with these shocks, this kind of has an illusion that is together, but it's actually separated. And the neck here, in fact, let me go on this other side here. With the neck here, it will actually, if you need to push the bar forward closer to you, if you're a little shorter, because this bike is made for riders, according to the website, from 5'3" to 6'5". I'm 5'5", and it fits perfect ride with me having the handlebars just where it's at. The length of my arms are fine, but if you're 5'3" and you may have shorter arms, you might want to bring this in even maybe an inch or half an inch closer so that it does rotate here, which will actually, because like you said, there is a gap here. It's not actually connected, although it looks like it is. It's just a aesthetic look, and for me it just looks cool. I don't think there's any issue with it whatsoever, but I just think you should know if you are going to want to adjust your handlebars, you can. You can bring it, pitch it forward or away from you depending how tall you are. Because someone 6'5" might have longer arms and want have a longer reach to push it out forward. This headlight, let me go ahead and turn that on. And so really easily, you can just turn on the headlight. There's an indicator at the top here that tells you that your headlight is on. And again, this is midday, so you're not gonna see like it super bright, but it is a very bright headlight. Almost moped grade. Again, I do believe that this bike can be ridden like a moped, especially if you live in like residential areas where it's legal, of course. But at 28 miles an hour, you'd be able to keep up with most traffic and side streets. And with this kind of visibility that you do get, it's actually really quite amazing. And I would like to say I missed something on the back of the bike that I think is also should be brought about, is if you take a look on these areas here, I'm going to turn it on, it has blinkers. So, but there is blinkers that are blinking here, and it's a bright orange that you get to see when you are riding at night. So it does have that extra added feature. We do have our full suspension. I didn't have any issues going over a lot of bumps. In fact, I have a scene of me jumping up and down on the bike. The suspension is just nice and soft. I feel like you're riding on a cloud. I really just love that. I'm just gonna go ahead and just show you some of the display features. We have just our trip meter, and then by hitting your eye over here, then you'll have your odometer, and then our max speed, and then your average speed. Now it looks like it automatically resets when the bike goes off, but we did have a max speed of over 30 miles an hour. So just to know that it can go that high of a speed. It does have that capability. The power of this bike is pretty incredible. I am testing the 52 volt, so I cannot say what the 48 volt would feel like, but usually a 52 volt does give you that extra added boost on the low end, and we do definitely feel it on the high end as well. We do have a 5-speed level, and we do have our Shimano SIS shifter of 7 speeds here. Very basic. Again, a lot of times you're probably not going to be using this very much. You get full throttle as per level of each level. So not full throttle. At 5, you'll get to full throttle to use all the way through. But if you put it on level pedal assist 1, you're going to get a speed of pedal assist 1 from your throttle. So it's not going to be full throttle all the time. Some other bikes do give you full throttle no matter what level you're in. If you want to just maintain a PAS level 2 speed, you just put it on 2 and then you'll be able to stay there. Okay, so really briefly, I just want to show you what the battery looks like and how easy it is to take out in case you want to go in and take it in the house, because this is going to be an expensive battery if anybody does take it, but also you want to just make sure you take care of it. So here's a couple of things. First, you do need a key. It locks in here. Sticking it into the slot here, when you turn it, you'll see it just pop out on its own. Once it pops, you can pull it out this way and lift it out here. And this is how big this battery is. Now, if you notice, it does have its ports on the bottom here, And these ports here mean you never want to store or put the battery down this way. And they do have a warning sticker about that. But if you do get one of these, make sure you never put the battery down this way. Otherwise, you'll probably damage your ports at the bottom here. And this is over a 30-pound battery. So that's another thing you want to keep in mind. You always want to take care of these. Do not drop them. And to put it back in, I would take out the key normally, and you can just push it in and you hear it snap. Once it snaps, it's good. So that's the whole battery. Let me go ahead and also show you what it looks like on the inside with the charging port. Again, stick this in, pop this out, but the charging port here, so that's exactly what you saw on the other side when I did the features of the bike, but this is what you plug into, so you can put it anywhere in the house to plug in and charge if you want. Now, when I move the bike around, if I need it in tight spaces, I like to go ahead and just take out the battery, put it aside first so I can move it, because it does add a lot of weight to it when it's left in. So to make it a lot easier to take it out, it's easier just to go ahead and remove the whole battery. This is the Aniioki AQ177 Pro Max. This is a bike I have got to say super impressed with. I would definitely recommend this for somebody who really wants to get commuting on a bike. This could be, I don't know, I joke around, the Tesla replacement. Because you can go 100 miles, which a lot of people work within 25 miles of their workplace. You can go back and forth, charge it up, and you might even do it twice a day, or just bring your charger with you to work because it can carry an extra weight load as well. It's over 300 total max weight load capacity on this, so that you can actually jump on this with a couple extra 100 pounds, depending on how heavy you are, and take this bike to work without any issues. Plus the speeds that it goes to will keep you up with a lot of places with a lot of traffic. You do need to check your local regulations. This is a class 3 bike. So just keep in mind, for a lot of places, you may not be able to ride this legally on a bike trail. I'm super impressed with this bike, as you can tell. The Aniioki AQ177 Pro Max. Check it out. I have links below. You can actually check out this bike by going to ebikeproducts.com/Aniioki. Again, that's ebikeproducts.com/Aniioki. Here's the link below. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.